Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Republic Town Hall Live. I'm your host, Luis, and today we're really excited to talk about this Sunday's game, Sacramento Republic against Tulsa. So, before we get started with that, let's go ahead and play our intro, and we'll see everyone here in about a minute. All right, and we're back again. Welcome everyone to our Town Hall Live. We'll be talking about this Sunday's game against Tulsa. But before we get right to talking about it, let's go ahead and introduce our two co-hosts here on the show. So first, let's go over to the person who just landed in Sacramento a couple hours ago and who's going to be celebrating his birthday here on Sunday. Jared, coming to us from his hotel in Sacramento. How's it going, Jared?
Doing excellent. Kind of glad sorry about that. Doing excellent. I'm glad I escaped the 96 degree heat in Phoenix. That was earlier today. But so far, I'm just parlaying at my hotel here, not too terribly far from Heart Health Park, and also taking in some of the local stuff, such as River City Ginger Brew. So keeping it local, and just glad to be here finally. Although it was pretty quickly here, so can't wait till Sunday.
Yeah. Well, welcome back home, man. And yeah, Sunday can't come here any sooner too. And we're really excited about that. And there's just a lot going to be going on that day, so really looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
And let's also introduce here our podcast mom, aka Sharon. How's it going?
Hey, I think I'm in the wrong spot. Hello. Let
Oh,
me shift that. Oh, there we go. Now I can just sit there and just poke away. Yeah, I'm doing. I'm doing bink, bink, bink. If anybody's ever watched our live shows, I have a tendency to poke Jared a lot, especially if he's sitting above me. And today he's sitting above me. You guys, jump on the pod for the live show so you can join me in poking Jared because his birthday's coming up on Sunday. And we're going to be celebrating, and I think I already started celebrating for you already tonight, so everything is good. Luis, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just feeling like it's a little warm. I don't know about you guys. I feel like this 80-degree weather just kind of came at us right real quick, and then it's supposed to rain like late Sunday, early Monday. But yeah, kind of crazy weather out there. But hopefully it doesn't rain while the game's going on, or while we're out in McCooney's, or Jared's out celebrating somewhere in downtown. Hopefully not, because yeah, I know he doesn't like the heat, right? But let's not rain on the parade with literally with rain.
Well, we're kind of used to. Well, I'm kind of used to the heat. It's just we're still transitioning from being in the 60s and 70s or so. I don't want the heat this quick. I mean, I don't know. It's just, but any way to keep cool. I just kind of wish I had known that there was no pool or spa here, but oh well, as long as there's AC and shower, that works out.
Jared, I have a pool and I have a hot tub. I call it the stew pot because it's literally old-fashioned, old school. It's like if we can arrange to get you here, you're a master of public transit, so figure it out, dude. You
Well,
may have to walk.
maybe for July or so, if I can still work that out, I'll keep that in mind.
It's looking like weather-wise, Sunday's going to be a beautiful day. So just a little cooler than normal. 74 degrees. I mean, we're so spoiled in Northern California. I mean, it's so not 90. It's Today was 81, perfect day to sit outside and have a good time. Which, Jared, I heard you had an awesome time earlier today in celebration of getting here. Tell us about that. I think there were, what, 5? Wait, what, 5?
I think it was either 5 or 6 in there. Yeah, back in the early 90s, my mom and I, we had found out about this place up in Madison and Auburn. It's called Wienerworks. You know, hole in the wall, mom and pop type place. Around the early 90s, when Jack in the Box and Washington State had their E. coli scare,
Right.
you know, this place, Wienerworks, decided to capitalize on the news at that time. They created what's called the Mad Cow Burger, which is 1 pound burger, which is a 6. I'm not sure how many pounds or a fraction of a pound or whatever, but it totals up to a pound burger, which also has lettuce, tomato, a couple other toppings as well. And then also their order of fries are not meant to be taken literally. Like, for example, they have tiny, small, large, or whatever. Their small order of fries, about maybe 70 or 80% of it is in my doggy bag. I mean, that's how I couldn't eat it. I mean, they were good and everything like that. But I just, after eating that Mad Cow Burger, you know, all of it, I mean, I didn't have any room in my stomach for a while. Oddly enough, I stopped over at the Rayleigh's in the area around here, and I got a barbecue tri-tip sandwich. So since some
Pack it in, dude. While you're here, you might as well just enjoy all the food. All the food, right, Luis?
Yeah.
All the food.
Yeah.
Did I not say I'll probably be adding on a couple pounds out here?
It's like being on a cruise ship.
Yeah, except theirs is all inclusive. I still got to come out of pocket on this, but the spirit is there. The spirit is there.
Hey, for anybody listening to tonight's live show, we've got to everybody's got to treat Jared. I mean, it's like, just hit him up, you know, send him a Venmo. Jared, what's your Venmo? I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. We'll post it on the bottom on the ticker. That's so funny.
Well,
you know,
I've actually got a PayPal. I'll put it that way.
All right. Well, we'll try to get the PayPal posted so that Jared can just eat all weekend long. We've got something special on Sunday planned. Luis will talk about it later. But, you know, Jared wants to make sure his birthday celebration is awesome on Sunday. Dude brought his own beer, right? Did you bring your own beer for this tailgate?
I did, and unfortunately, I have a sad report to announce. Out of 15, out of the 15-pack Rattle-Ons, you know, which is a red ale, I guess, which is themed off of the Diamondbacks, one unfortunately suffered a leak, but the other 14 are fine. So there will be 14 of those. I haven't checked on the 12-pack of Scottsdale Blondes yet, but I don't think there was really any damage on that one. But I think it might have been packing on my end, because I had like a stand-up check-in bag, you know, that I checked on the plane. Right. I had clothing sit on top of it, but nothing on the bottom. So I think that's probably what caused it. So there was no buffer from the bottom, and of course you have another 12-pack sitting on top of it and going in the airplane. So I think that's probably what caused the one beer can to go. But still, if everything else is good with the other 12-pack, that's going to be 36 beers from Arizona. I'm going to be bringing to the tailgate, both a red ale and a blonde ale.
You guys, should we be bringing Jared cupcakes or a cake? What would you prefer to go with your beer?
To be honest, I could go either way.
I think we're talking cupcakes, because have you ever seen the trick where you don't get the frosting all over everything, where you take
I've been doing that. You slice it and sandwich like that. Yeah.
Yep. And so the frosting ends up in the middle, and then you eat it like a cookie, sandwich cookie. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We'll have to get you, Luis, we'll have to sort that one out for the tailgate, right? We'll have to get the cupcakes going.
Yeah. We'll have to make sure we get them like as fresh as we can, right? So they're.
You know what, Tina? Are you on cupcake detail? Tina, let's bring her on. Is there a way that Tina can get on our pod? It's so funny. Whenever Tina gets on the pod, her lighting is like, we've got to look hard. It's like, Tina, Tina, you're kind of dark over there.
Yeah, she does make cupcakes easier to eat too. I don't know if she'll
Yeah.
be able to be
Yeah.
on though. I asked her, and I think she has something going on. But yeah,
Oh.
but if she can join,
Oh,
I mean,
well.
yeah, of course we'll share the link out. So just let us know, Tina,
Yeah.
if that's something. But if not, you can continue to comment there. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Commenting.
absolutely.
I was
And I
commenting on only. Yeah. Go ahead.
and I agree. The cupcakes are easier to eat because with cake, you got to get a plate, you got to get utensils, everything like that. Cupcakes, especially with that trick, you could do it by hand. All you need is maybe a napkin, and you're good to go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, they're so convenient too. Yeah.
Oh, surprise! Yes. Oh. Put that one down.
Surprise
Scott,
guest
love
might
you,
show up to
man.
tailgate and match for Jared's birthday. Look at that.
Oh.
We might get a surprise guest and
And
yeah.
tailgate. Nice. Hey, Scott, you're good enough. You could be that person to just show up at the tailgate and the thing, and that's great. You, Tina, everybody in TBB, whoever's listening in on the pod. Man, it would be nice to get a player or two on our podcast tonight to watch Jared down a beer. Oh my God, that's the beer that's spicy. Is that the spicy beer?
Oh, okay. He's muted. All right. I was gonna say like.
Dude's having difficulty. We are not going to see a spray, guys. It's just spicy. It's just, it's a little bit spicy. So he's got to cough it out.
No, I didn't do a dab.
Oh, yeah,
it's soda.
Oh, are you serious? That was just soda?
Ginger beer.
Oh, that's beer.
It's ginger beer. It's non-alcoholic. It is spicy. It tastes like Jamaican style ginger beer, which
tastes like dirt. Doesn't it taste like dirt?
No. It's a good burn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. It almost sounds like if you take a good swig of this, it sounds like you just came from cookies.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you go.
All right. Yeah. Well, I want to let everyone know, and I just literally just posted it like minutes ago too. But as I mentioned on the pod, we're actually going to be giving away a signed State of the Republic scarf. We had to change the contest up a bit from what we had previously, but this time it's super easy. You just go on Twitter at State Republic 12. You follow us and retweet the tweet that is pinned on our profile, and then you could just be able to enter to win the scarf. And it's actually really great so far. I mean, like I said, we just posted just minutes ago. We've already had a couple of retweets and likes. So again, just easy is just retweeting this and following us. And you have until April Fools. We are going to give it out. So, we're not April Fooling anyone here. It just happens to land on.
You never know.
So whoever we mention on April 1st, we promise you that's who actually won it. But you have until April 1st at 7 p.m. So we're going to be announcing it at our town hall next Friday because we all know we have a game next Saturday against Monterey. So stay tuned to that so you can find out who wins. But in the meantime, go ahead and go participate there and get to win it. So it's only on Twitter, though. So if you don't have a Twitter account, you might need to make one. But yeah, it's worth making one at least so you can participate in the freebies we'll be having. So,
and only one account, no making burners for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll be taking a look at how many fake ones are. If there's no picture or no followers, there's something wrong there. Well, let's go ahead and get started talking about Tulsa. Right, this live is all about Tulsa, our next opponent. And as we all know, and we mentioned on the pod, Tulsa was going to be playing against San Diego this week, and they actually ended up winning 1-0 against the very own San Diego that beat us at their home. So tricky match for us on Sunday, right? Because we're playing against a team that beat us. But as we all know, in the world of soccer, that logic usually doesn't always come into play because sometimes you beat the one that beats you, and then they beat the one that beat them, and all that. So what are your guys' thoughts on this too? And and Tulsa getting the win.
So here's the deal. I was listening to Connor and Rob McAllister's podcast from earlier this week, and they were talking about all of that. And, we have such a deep bench that no matter how Tulsa did against San Diego, it's almost like we have a kitchen sink to throw at them. It doesn't matter. It's almost like we will continue to play our game, and the way that we're forming up with who we have, I have no doubt we are going to do well. And what were our predictions? Me and Jared and you, what were our predictions for the score line and the scorers? Let's talk about that real quick too, because
as far as scores goes, I believe I had 1-0, and the goal scorer would have been Douglas Martinez Jr.
Okay.
All right. So I'll give you guys the rundown here. So Sharon has a 3-1. Keiko scores first. Jared has a 1-0. Douglas Jr. scores first. And I have 2-1. Cuello scores first.
Okay. Sorry about that. I think my audio had just cut out because of a incoming notification. I do apologize.
Okay. It's okay. You heard it right? Your 1-0 Douglas Jr. Was yours. So yeah, I mean, we have different scores, and we get a win, then one of us will probably get a point, or maybe 2 points if we get the first goal.
So I will tell you this: Rob McAllister and Connor are super high on Keiko. Guess who's also really high on Keiko? That would be maybe me. And Tina, I love her comment. So Scott, I agree with you 100%. Undefeated at home, we've got this. I think that is the goal for the season, is to always be undefeated at home. And Luis, we talked about this on one of our podcasts, that you talked about the points that we would accrue if we were always undefeated at home and won. It's one thing to be undefeated like a tie game, but it's another thing to win. What was the breakdown of points? You kind of put that out there of that would be actually an awesome number.
Yeah. Looking at the total season, there's 34 games. That's about 17 if you count half of that being at home. And if you get all your, in a perfect world, right, where we would get all the wins at home, then you'd be looking at a maximum of 51 points, right? But say we lose a couple of points here and there, we get some ties, which unfortunately, we know how that goes. I think we would probably still have at least, I want to say, like between 40 to 45 points if you have a pretty good, solid defense at home and you do pretty good. And so, that kind of sets you up already for at least making it to the playoffs. It's not going to be in the top 3, but you could at least still make it. And of course, you're going to get some points away, right? Get a point at least away, get a couple of ties at away games. That's fine. Yeah. And so, you make your home a fortress and you could qualify for the playoffs.
So I agree with you 100%, and I totally agree with Scott, and I really agree with Tina that Tulsa barely won. So here's the deal. We were like not freaking out, but we were like excited that, Joaquin Rivas won't be playing for Tulsa because he's on, international duty. And there was somebody else who's also on international duty, but they had a squad against San Diego. But of course they were playing at home, but they actually did a decent job against San Diego, and we all know that San Diego is trained, of course, by Landon Donovan, one of the best goal scorers in the U.S. men's national team history. And when you have a coach like that, kind of what their strategy is. Scott McAllister called it boring, and he also called San Antonio boring, which is lovely to hear. Yeah. Oh, and Tina says they're down 3 people. Tulsa may be down 3 people, but they also had some guys that came through that ended up, scoring the goal. So at the end of the day, I think we still have to come out the way we come out. I don't think they're going to be able to handle Douglas. I don't think they're going to be able to handle Keiko. I think and Zico. I don't think they're going to be able to handle some of the things that we're going to be throwing at them. Honestly, we're going to be breaking down Tulsa's back line. And they're going to also be, okay, so it's what, third match of the season, right? Are we there? Yeah. Okay.
For them, yeah. For us, it's only 2, but yeah, for them, it's
our third match.
No, this is our third match.
Yeah,
because
Sunday's match is the third. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Sunday's
thought you
match
were.
is
Yeah, I thought you were
Mhm.
saying we had 3. Yeah.
yeah, third match. So, it's not like anybody's concerned about yellow cards except for Roro, who's got 2. But it's kind of like, they have to start thinking about that. This is the beginning of the season. They don't want yellow card accumulations. And if they're playing with the same defenders that they played in San Diego, they've got to be a little bit concerned about, cautions. So at the end of the day, I agree. I think we're sitting pretty. You guys root for Sharon. 3-1 is the score with Keiko scoring because I'm competitive and I want those points and I want that wonderful dinner at the end of the season. You guys, wouldn't it be like fabulous if I got it? Come on. Okay. All right. I love Jared. I love Luis. If they got it, I don't care. I'd buy the half the dinner.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I think it could be closer to the 1-0. I mean, I would love to see the score go in Sharon's favor, believe me, but especially on the birthday. But this Tulsa team, it's we don't know who we're going to get because prior to this, we've played Tulsa 10 times. Out of those 10 times, we won 8 of them and drew 2. One of those 8 includes the largest margin of victory ever in Republic FC club history of 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to get 6-0 here? Be great if we did, but I'm not going to count on it. Even with Rivas and one other player serving international duty for the El Salvador team, I mean, we've seen Tulsa, just like with this match against San Diego, with folks out, they still find a way to make up for it. So this is definitely not going to be an easy match. I mean, this is not going to be the Tulsa Roughnecks of old that we're used to. I mean, the last time that we played them was 2020, and that ended up being a draw.
Yeah, ended up being a 1-1 draw, which I'm glad that you kind of mentioned that game because that game was for all of those of you who were at the game. I unfortunately wasn't at the game, but you know how stressful it was. That it looked like we had the win, but then 10 minutes remaining, and Rodrigo da Costa ended up scoring right behind the TBB group area right there, and I remember how it was really tough, right? And I believe Sharon, you were there at the game too, and
Yep.
It's like the whole stadium just got real quiet, and it was just crazy because we were dominant in that game, right? They only had like a couple of opportunities, and that's all they needed.
Yep. Anyhow, I put something up there for us. We gotta take a quick peek at some of the players that we have coming on. I think Connor Donovan is healthy, and I'm curious, you guys, who you think is like one of your favorite defenders, and kind of like a little bit of why. What is it that you're seeing in our guys besides Dan Casey's usual situation of being solid? And let's consider the outside backs too. Let's consider Faraday. Let's consider anybody who's even playing in the outside back. Jack Gurr. Let's talk about some of our guys.
Jack has been taking chances. I mean, good chances as far as this goes. I mean, we've seen him come up with some really close goals. He's taken opportunities. He's found his way to wedge himself into a play. So that's definitely something I love seeing him take the opportunity for. I mean, we need that. Keiko, he's found a way to get on the attack as well. I mean, obviously he's got that last goal against El Paso a couple weeks ago. So these new players, I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far.
So let me ask you guys this: Duke Lacroix or Faraday Sousa?
Wow.
Duke Lacroix or Faraday?
I would say Duke Lacroix, right? I mean, we don't know how he's gonna come back, right? When he comes back to the team,
Yeah.
But Sousa, I think we still need to see a little bit more of him. He's had good moments, but he's had other moments where hasn't been all that great. So, I think we need to see more of him this season to know who. But if I had to pick between both of them right now, then I'm going with Duke. I mean, he's reliable. We know him already, and he could do the job. But once they're both healthy and competing against each other, it's going to be an interesting competition there amongst both of them. So
it's It's going to be a heck of a competition, Jared. I know you were going to say something, but even Rob McAllister and Connor Sutton were talking a little bit about, it's kind of Duke's position. Ferry's kind of come in and really kept it warm. As a matter of fact, kind of kept it hot in a way. And, and so now what do you do when you have these two excellent guys? And, you've got Jack Gurr kind of, cinched up on the right side, like Tina was mentioning. She likes what she sees in him. We all do, especially if he stays on his feet and doesn't like sit there and flop. You don't flop as a defender. Come on. Everybody knows that. But at the end of the day, and then I'm going to ask you guys one more question once we get a little deeper into the pitch. But let's keep talking about the Duke and Faraday situation. I want to hear a little bit more. Scott, I want to hear from you. And Tina, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, it looks like so far we've got Scott chiming in. He says Sosa is our new Shannon Gomez, except with more offensive presence. Let the assists stack up.
Yeah. And I agree with Scott.
If we get more assists like the one that we saw, right, that led to Douglas' goal, then oof, yeah, I like that. He had a really good vision in that one, and hopefully we see that again. It's just that first half against El Paso, it was a little bit not as great, right? So maybe he's one of those players that just has different moments like that. But I think he should still be starting. I think, especially since Duke isn't ready to be a starter yet. So that's who you keep playing.
I'm getting ready to post another comment for you guys. I got to ask you one more. Okay, hang on. Okay, here's a comment coming up real quick. A question coming up for everybody. Alrighty, here we go. All right, you guys. Nick Ross, the boss, or Matt LaGrassa? And we, of course, will never get rid of Luis Felipe because he's our D mid from last season that we will never let go unless he's in yellow card trouble, which is so. Okay. So Nick Ross, Matt LaGrassa, or does it depend? Is it situational depending on who we're playing? I'm serious about that. So let's talk about those two. Come on, Tina. Yeah. Come on, Scott. Give us an opinion. The boss. Oh my God, get that up there. Oh, I like this. It's
every day hustling.
So Matt and Nick are very different. Matt is a big interrupter. Nick is a finesse guy. Luis is a big interrupter with finesse. Ooh, Tina, you are right. It is a tough one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, because right now they're kind of vying for a spot, Nick and Matt. Luis has got it cinched. Like I said, he's the golden boy. Nobody's ever going to let him off the pitch unless, of course, he's in yellow card trouble. But, then it's kind of like now we have Matt LaGrassa to fill in for him or Nick. But Nick got subbed out last week, and it wasn't Matt that replaced him. I'm trying to remember who stepped on for Nick. It was somebody unexpected, and I'm trying to remember who it was.
Yeah,
who they brought in. I think they brought in a striker. I think they brought in Zico.
Luther.
Oh, it was Luther Archimet,
Archimet.
Yeah, and we only saw like not a minute of him, but we didn't really get to see him fully bloom.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got this. We just got to see these guys play. We really have to start watching our players, and so that we can learn more about them and see what their strengths are, so that we can actually have opinions. Right? Isn't it important that we have opinions?
Coach, you gotta let Luther sing on the field.
Brought him in for a reason.
Yeah. Gotta give him those opportunities more and see what he's got, or at least give him more time, right? So I'm in earlier. Tina says so many choices. Yeah, it's good. I mean,
this is a good thing. Yes,
I like for us to debate, not to be like, oh, we just have one player. It's between one or an academy guy, and then
an academy guy.
Yeah, like we have good academy players, but don't put him in that situation where you're like putting them a lot of pressure. But if I had to choose, I would probably go still with Matt LaGrassa, right? And I'm just basing it off just the fact that he has that experience already in USL and MLS, right? And again, he's the hometown guy, right? So I think unless like he really drops his level of play, then maybe you start to put him back on the bench. But seeing him on the bench, I was like, no, I think we should keep him in the starter. Like, don't move him as a bench player unless he really screws up again. But yeah, I think he should be out there.
I'd have to move the needle maybe a couple tenths towards Matt as well. I mean, I love me some Maybach soccer, with Nick Ross, but like you said, Matt's got the experience in MLS. He's 916 born and bred, so that kind of pushes it in that favor a little bit. But if you were to take those out, then it would make it an even harder decision. So that's just where I'm coming from.
Interesting you would say that. I think a lot of folks really do like Nick. I think they like his mobility. But Matt is good. So I have another question. Is Roro our total glue in the field, or is there another guy in the wings? Is Roro the total glue?
I would say so. I mean, he's obviously got the championship caliber. He's got the experience. He has the leadership, the veteran.
Scott. Sorry, I just read Scott.
Yeah, the buzz on
I done got the pink slip. I'll go clean out my desk.
I'll see myself to the door.
Boss wants you to log all the way off.
Delete your cookies. But not your cupcakes.
Yeah, no, save those for Sunday.
Yeah.
Tina says Roro too. Yeah, I'm with Tina as well.
No, and even Scott McAllister. Everybody says it's a Roro show. Our whole midfield and the way we build, and the way that the vision that we have is a Roro show. Who are we grooming for when Roro is not on the field? Who's that guy? Who is that guy? Who?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, because he's hard to replace, right? Especially because he's the kind of player, like I always say, that I really enjoy seeing, right? Like he's gonna be like just running up and down and going at every ball. You're never gonna see him just like flop and stay, faking a foul, or the kind of guy that won't run as much. I know we had that little situation there with Douglas, right, in the first half against El Paso, where he wasn't running as much. But with Roro, you're not going to see that, right?
Nope.
Because he knows what he's here for. He's played at the highest level, and he wants to make a name, right? He knows he's only going to have, after this year, one more year of playing with us, and he wants to try and get us to that second championship. And you like to see those players. If we can have a whole team that has that mentality of his, right, where it doesn't matter if you're winning or losing, you're always just gonna just go for it and try and give it your all, then we would have an all-star team. And so I think that's why it's so hard to find who can replace him, because you need someone with that same mentality. You don't need the same like skill set, of course, because that's always kind of hard to find, but you need someone with the same mentality that he has. And that's why I hope that more players get
check it out.
That vibe, and just
check it out.
It's a contagious thing.
Check it out. I like the Cuello idea. Both Scott and I love the fact that both Scott and Tina are kind of on the same page. We're pretty high on Cuello ourselves. I know that coach is really working with him hard to make sure that he keeps it simple, Sam. He does try to be a little bit too fancy. I don't know if anybody saw the Gio Reyna show last night on television, right? And a lot of guys are getting way more confident on the ball, to try to do some fancy stuff. And then, of course, you hold the ball too long, you're going to get it stolen, which happened to Gio Reyna last night, which was amazing in the game versus Mexico, the 0-0 draw, which I called 1-1. Who knows why I was calling it a 1-1 tie? Luis, I'll have to apologize for that in advance, but
no, it's good. I was calling it a tie too.
But I called it a 1-1 tie, and what a dork, because nobody scored. But the Cuello idea, as long as he has that humble attitude that Roro has, and that workhorse attitude, if we're grooming a guy like him, or if we're grooming, somebody who has that really good vision of where the ball is going to be and where it needs to go, like 3 steps ahead. Roro is the only one. Well, I still am pretty high on Luis Felipe, knowing how to intercept the ball. The restart, sometimes, he does make a little errant pass. You rarely see Robo making a bad pass to restart the match, or restart the attack. But if Robo can pick that guy and groom that guy this season, so that, as next season that guy gets stronger for future season, because let's face it, Cuello's still young, and that's a good thing for us. And, a lot of our guys are still young. I mean, look at Thiago. I mean, we've got guys that are young and coming up, and it would just be dandy to, to be able to groom somebody. Yeah.
So pretty much the consensus is, if the time comes that Robo departs, so whether it be for end of contract, other aspirations, the general question is going to be, ¿Tienes tremendo cuello?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we would hope. I mean, at that point, he'll be 27 years old, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Hoping,
still young.
Hoping he doesn't leave, though, of course, right? Because if he's really good, then he might. I mean, good for him, right? I'm not saying he shouldn't leave, right? But
hey, we pay more in Sacramento, and we have more fun things to do in Sacramento. We've got,
yes,
it's a great place. You're 2 hours from here. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica. Yeah, we got Jessica.
Hey!
Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah. So, Tina, the Penagos quotient, I am still waiting for it to get fully baked. I would love to go to a training session and watch what happens at training sessions, because we were really high on Mario. When he first came to us and we first started seeing him bloom, we were really high on him because of his ball handling abilities and his vision. However, it's almost like he's kind of been shuffled to the back a little bit, just because we've got such other strength. And I don't know if it's just that Mario needs a little age and a little more beefiness to him. I mean, I don't want to say it that way, but he's still young, and he still plays like sometimes a young guy, a guy from the academy, let's face it. So it would be nice to see him get a little bit more marinated. Oh, yes. Jessica, yes. We love ourselves some Cuello. Yeah. Oh, we did talk about Matt LaGrassa a little bit earlier. We were doing the old, Jessica, just to bring you up to speed, we were doing the, we know that Luis Felipe is not going anywhere as a D-mid, but we were comparing Nick Ross, the boss, and Matt LaGrassa, because they're kind of vying for that kind of D-mid, that midfield thing. Yeah. So we did talk a little bit about that, but LaGrassa kind of got the edge on Nick Ross, the boss, just simply because of his experience, and he's played at the MLS level. So, but we all like both of them,
Yeah, Jessica says, I'm liking the magic with the squad this season. No. Yeah, especially that second half in the first match against El Paso. I mean, we know that there's something there, and again, we go back to what I said before, right? If we're strong at home, that's all you really need, right? Of course, you need to have a good game away too. I'm not saying just throw away all your away games, but if we make sure that we get a lot more points than we did last season at home, then we won't be struggling as much or having to count our mathematical opportunities when there's 5 games left, right? And doing the math and trying to figure out how much points do I need to even have a chance, and who do I need to see lose. No, we don't want to see that anymore. I don't like when you have to look at other teams and wait for them to lose 3 games out of 4, and yeah.
March Madness should stay in March. That's it. We don't need it happening in August or September or anything like that. Yeah, mice machine. But yeah, we need consistency. We want to be able to get so far ahead that we're not having to rely on, if we need Oakland to tie, we need San Antonio to lose or beat such and such. It's like trying to do coupons. I mean, no, let's screw it. Let's just get the national brand. Let's just get the good stuff.
Oh. The mathematics of last year broke our hearts.
And our brains.
We were so tied up over the last month and a half we were like totally into the math. Okay, this needs to happen now. Okay, this needs to happen. We were every freaking podcast. We were like, okay, if we had just not tied that match, Joseph A. Banks and Men's Warehouse, if we had just not tied that match, we would have had 2 more points. It was like we were just like math. Oh, you're right. It was the brains. It was so hurtful. And then it came down to the very end, and then our hearts, of course, were broken. Our hopes were dashed. It won't be that way this year.
Oh yeah,
it won't be that. Right. It won't be that way, right, Jessica? Right, Tina? Right, Scott? It will not be that way.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not. Also, Scott says, "Yes, I was getting tired of all." That's a good one.
Go get your coat. Get your coat. You're out.
He meant to say of that. Yeah. He was getting tired of that. Oh my God, we all.
Your coat, sir, out.
I mean, if we look at the standings here, I mean, look at that. We got 8 wins out of 32 games. Like, something's not right there, right? I just said right now, you win most of your home games. That's half of the season. 17 out of 34. You're in. Here, we were nowhere near half of 32 games, right? And if we want to do better than last season, we just need to win 7 more games. And there's a lot of games ahead of us. So, I mean, we're of course in a much better track than we were last year. So I'm hoping, and like you said, I hope that we don't get no 12 ties. I mean, that's a crazy number to see there compared to the other teams. If we see how many ties they got, yeah, that was crazy.
So what about our okay, I'm gonna do another one. Give me a second. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna put something else up there.
And I think the craziest thing, like you mentioned, we were so close. I mean, I still cannot believe that we were just 5 points away from that playoff spot. Like, just 5 points. You go through 32 games and you're just 5 points away. And
it seemed like everything worked out except the Phoenix game. If we had just won, we actually did get something that should have gone across the line and counted, but of course, it's the referees. They're always going to be out for us. But everything else other than beating Phoenix worked out, and we would have gotten into the playoffs. But yeah, that's in the past. Hopefully we can put it even further behind us.
Okay, before we get to the forward line, you guys, I know we have our little contest that we have going internally, which, by the way, apparently Connor Sutton and Rob McAllister have started a contest as well, as far as who they will eliminate already from playoffs starting this now in the season, and who will be in the playoffs. Now, Rob McAllister was certain that Sac Republic will be in the playoffs, right? And then Connor was certain that Las Vegas, Monterey, and I forget who the other team was that definitely will be eliminated. And it's like, oh my God, you guys are making those early predictions. I'm asking the question of who mid-season predictions. Who's our top 3? Are we in the top 3?
I would definitely say at minimum top 4. At minimum.
Anybody else?
It pains me to have to say this, but I don't think we're in the top 3 at the end. But I think we're in the top 5. We're more number 4, number 5 is where we're at. I think just judging it off just the games that we've seen so far. So, but again, hopefully I'm wrong, as I always say. But yeah,
I know we like being wrong. I don't see anything from Scott, Tina, or Jessica. Oh, there's Tina. No. Just the West. Just the West, Tina.
Yeah, since we're not on another one too. I don't know about that. I mean, we could also take a look at the East one, and that one, you see Louisville, almost 100% Louisville is going to be probably in the top 3.
Scott, you are bold. I'm putting that up there. You're bold. Why are you high, Scott? Tell us what it is about Colorado Springs that you like so much. Is it, is it the fact that they have KB and that they have Matt Mahoney, or is it what you've seen from Colorado Springs? You got to tell us. You can't just leave us hanging with that. You got to tell us why.
Yeah, Colorado Springs has been pretty solid so far. I mean, I know it's only a couple weeks of the season, but we're definitely seeing some surprises from teams that really didn't fare too well last year. I mean, Colorado Springs, Las Vegas. I mean, Las Vegas still shocks me.
Yeah.
I mean, first they beat Phoenix at Cashman Field, leaving Phoenix coach Rick Shantz just basically turning his underwear into salt mines with all the salt he's been manufacturing.
No.
And it's curious why he only says that when they lose to Las Vegas. Nothing when they beat Las Vegas, but only when they lose.
Yeah.
That's
Suddenly
interesting.
everything is wrong. There's they're playing in a baseball stadium. That's probably wrong. There's
Well,
there's
it
lights
technically-
everywhere.
The Salt
Technically-
of San Diego.
Well, technically, Las Vegas is no longer a baseball stadium because they did saw off the foul poles a couple seasons ago.
Oh, they got
So-
okay.
Yeah, because the team that was playing there, the Las Vegas 51s, they moved to nearby Summerlin into a brand new ballpark, and they renamed themselves the Las Vegas Aviators. So now they're a AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's. So Cashman Field is strictly soccer only.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, he'll probably still
Wow.
complain. He's like, well, when it was built, there was that. That there's cars watching. I don't know if they still have the whole people watching games in their cars next to the
Yeah,
field.
The Toyota promotion from last year, yeah.
Everything you can think. He'll probably even complain that they were giving away cash last year and that it was really chaotic, even though that wasn't the same game. But right, I mean, since he's that salty, he'll probably complain about things that happen even outside of that. Right? He'll be like, that we still spotted a couple of like dollars or. On the field.
That's why I've made all those memes about Rick Shantz. I mean, because
Oh.
he probably will end up complaining about, oh, the salt air at Torero Stadium is too much of a nuisance, and I find the fact that they're serving food from the Jenny Craig Pavilion offensive. He's probably going to be saying something like that.
Oh, I think we should ask, like, what do people think he's going to complain in Sacramento should he lose against us at home?
Why are you having the state fair in the middle of a soccer match?
It would probably, there's too many lights.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So Scott explained himself. He says all of that with respect to Colorado Springs. He says all of that on top of impressive wins. I think people are still sleeping on them. And you know what? Rob McAllister was high on Colorado Springs as well, for exactly what you say. Yeah, and we all kind of pay attention to a lot of our former players. And Scott, bless your heart for being a loyal player fan as well as a Sac Republic fan. You know, we all know that Scott has a deep relationship with William Bijev, and we respect that intensely because sometimes our friendships with players end up transcending, into our relationships with players transcend to friendships. And that's what this whole world of soccer is all about. But anyhow, and Scott basically also says, get your birthday drink, Jared.
I gotta finish this podcast, don't I? I can Uber from here to downtown in the quickness. It ain't gonna be cheap, but I'll do it. But let's finish this first.
Okay, we're gonna finish the live show. Okay, what's our bet of what time we're gonna be done with the live, guys? We've had some. Do I have to punch you again, dude?
Oh, well, be careful. He's drinking right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you hiccup there.
He's
dude.
going to do the meme, right? Isn't there's a meme, right, with the stick figure, like just like. Well, Scott said he's up to work as well, right? Or does he work at a bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Depot. Everybody go to the Depot tonight and say hi to Scott.
There you go. Whoa! All right, you're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I'm with Scott too with Colorado Springs. I mean, they're up there too. Although if I had to pick my top three, I think San Diego is gonna finish in first. Truly lost against Tulsa, but the way they played against us, if they keep playing like that at home and against others away, they have a pretty good team. And again, just Landon being their coach and him having a couple more seasons now in coaching, I think they're going to do really good. And we know last seasons, they've always been pretty good, right? I mean, there was that one season when they first got started where, we all know the things that happened and they should have been in the playoffs, but then they took points away from them. It was the dumbest thing that they took points away from them. But in reality, this is basically is a team that should have made the playoffs during their whole history so far, right? And they're 2 years, I think they've been around. So I see them as first, and then I mean I don't know. Las Vegas is pulling some like surprise wins,
Yeah,
so
it won't last.
uh,
They're a one-hit wonder. They're a one-hit wonder every few minutes.
I don't know. I'd say 2 hits. I mean, because remember, it was a shootout in El Paso a couple days ago.
Well, that's
yeah,
true.
that El Paso game. I mean, let's we have to talk about that, right? I mean, that was the craziest game, but maybe I think we've seen in like USL history. I've never seen a game like that, like just so back and forth.
Yeah, and at one point, Las Vegas was up 4-1, and then El Paso, they just refused to die. They fought it out. I give them that. But aside from this, it has just been a steady decline, and it started out with us beating El Paso in the opening week. So I don't know if El Paso is going to be capable of recovering from this. I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, this is only the third match. I mean, or the third week of the season. We still have quite a number of weeks to go. So if El Paso is hoping to fight it out and stay in the top 7, they need to do something now. I mean, because if things keep up like this, they're going to be down at the bottom, and they're going to be stuck behind a brick wall, never coming out.
Mm. I mean, isn't it so crazy? I mean, you guys just look at when the first goal was scored and then when the 8th goal was scored. They scored 8 goals in 20 minutes. That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen that in in any game in the world. 8 goals in 20 minutes. Wow.
I still see the keepers were stuck in Juarez.
Oh, that's funny.
Something, yeah. Tina said Newton is struggling. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of goals that he's seen, right? I mean, they have what? Let's look here. They have I mean, they're their last place, of course. 10 goals against out of 3 games. 10 goals. Wow.
Yeah, and I think they have the largest negative goal difference at this point. Not of the league, but at least of the Western Conference.
Yeah, -4 in just 3 games. Yeah, well, just one. Atlanta United has 5
Ooh,
goals again.
Red Bulls
I mean,
2.
they still have 5. Yeah, yeah,
Look at Red Bulls 2. I mean, hey, at this
Yeah.
point, it's going to be easy pickings come May.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Interesting you would say
I think
that.
for most of them too. If we look some of the East Coast teams we'll be playing against, I mean, Louisville is going to be something else.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
they're always going to be tough.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know about
Pittsburgh's
that
been
game.
doing good. Loudon is
They've been actually doing pretty good too. I mean, they haven't lost one. They've had Hayden Sargis has been starting those 2 first games. So
Yeah, so that's definitely been helping them, I'm sure.
yeah, having an experienced guy out back. So not going to be easy. All the team. Well, and then you got FC Tulsa there too, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, we've had a great record against them. Hopefully, it continues, but we'll see.
yeah, and these are the games where you need to get those points, right? The East Coast rivals, yeah, they're fighting their own thing over there too, but all the teams play against. I mean, some of them play against other rivals. They don't all play against the same ones, so it was just the luck of the draw. We got some good rivals. We got some other ones that are going to be super challenging, like Louisville. But you gotta make the most out of that because your rivals, some of your West Coast rivals, are also going to be playing against the same, 1 or 2 of the same quote unquote easy East Coast teams, right? So
Okay, so I'm going to change the subject, guys.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk forwards and attacking mids. Which 4 guys would you want on the field? And I've basically typed up as many as I could think of, looking at our current roster, which could change any day, because we could also bring in some other guys. So we've got Keko, Zico, Dougie, Emil, Luther. I typed Emil twice because we like him so much. Malik, Rafa, Warage. So which 4 do you want to see on the field? Because let's face it, there are other positions that are already taken. We've already got the 4 in the back line that we already know who, it's 4 guys. There's a couple discussions about who's the central defender, the center backs. And then we always have either Luis Felipe and Matt or Luis Felipe, Nick Ross, the boss. Those are kind of those guys. Robo is always going to be on the field. So that kind of limits the rest of what you see. You know, we've had Keko starting on the left side. He's either starting or he subs out. We've always got Dougie starting up on top, and Emil usually sits in there somewhere. You know, and then everything else is kind of like a bit of a crapshoot. So Tina, I love you. Okay. So there you go. And actually, Robo takes up a spot. So which three of the rest of those guys would you want to have on the pitch always?
Yeah, I gotta go with at least Dougie and Emil as well. I mean, great choices as far as they go. And then let's see, one more.
Do you do Keko or do you do Zico?
I'm gonna go with Keko.
He gets my vote. I should have put his name twice. But we have not seen much of Luther. We haven't seen, Malik is getting back from injury again, you know, hopefully sooner, you know, than later. I don't know what his prognosis is, but thank you, Club, for posting his injury status. That was really sweet.
Yes.
Tina says, you know, Tina, you, me, and Jared are fans. We're Keko fans. And you can sub him off. You know, he's not one of those negative Nellies that, you know, is going to put his head down if he gets subbed off. He understands. He's so mature. He understands the nature of a sub. You know, he's cool.
Yeah, I think I would probably pick Emil, of course. You got to have him there. You know, I would do Douglas as well, but I kind of want to see how Luther would play also as a starter, right? So he gets more minutes. But for the meantime, as long as Douglas doesn't have a really bad game, I still keep him in the starting 11. But if he has a game where, as you know, Sharon, if he has another first half repeat of El Paso, then definitely let Luther start another game and see how he does and what he brings to the table. And Keko, you know, I think he's good in the starting 11, but I'd be kind of interested in seeing Zico in the starting 11, because as we know, when he came in the second half against El Paso, the guy changed a lot of the game, right? I mean, we had a completely different game when he was on the field, and I want to see him also starting, you know, seeing how he does when he starts.
Tina, you and I, man, we're totally on board with the short shorts. Yeah. And it's not a sexist thing. It literally is, we just like muscles. All right. It would be anybody. We don't care. Just the muscles are good. Right, Tina? That's it. That's all it is about. It's muscles.
It's a brand new, just like I said before, it's a brand new movie. The Brotherhood of the Traveling Short Shorts.
The Brotherhood of the Traveling Short Shorts. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. So
the Brotherhood, imagine if more actually catch up on that, right? If more are like, you know what, Douglas is doing pretty good. Let me also do the same thing.
Yeah,
I'll put it this way: y'all are lucky I didn't bring my quail shorts. I'll put it that way.
Would we be looking at muscles or something else?
Whoa!
No! The quail shorts.
That's for my OnlyFans account.
Tina, it's right. We're so in agreement. It's just the muscles. It's just muscles. Yeah. Sorry. We are appropriate. We're just talking muscles.
But, you know, it's going to be interesting, you know, in Sunday's match, because, of course, it's the second home game. And I'm going to be really curious what team we see in the second game, right? Are we going to see the team we saw in the first or second half in the last home game, right? Because, you know, I hope they learned from those mistakes from that first half and just how things just weren't going our way. And I hope they start playing like we did in the second half, because you can't, you know, just leave it to hope that we score a goal and that they don't score on us. And, you know, if the same thing happens again, I don't know if we're going to have the same reaction, right? So we shouldn't be that team that's like, we get scored on, it's fine. We still have a whole game ahead of us. We're going to be able to catch up to them, because, you know, you don't always have the same circumstances. So I really hope that they learned from the first half, from last home game.
We're not. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was just saying, we're not trying to be the dog in the burning house talking about, oh, this is fine.
Yeah, oh yeah, the dog meme. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're not trying to. Yeah, because the house could burn. It's not always gonna.
Yeah, we'll be
It's not
fine.
always
Yeah. So Jared had this thing. So I think Dougie, I hope he starts. I think he can take it to Tulsa's back line, because watching a little bit of the Tulsa back line, how they were playing, I think Dougie has got it. I bet you he breaks it down so easy, and I bet you he's going to get fed balls from either Roro. I don't know if Sosa's going to be starting or Keko, but I think he's going to get some really good balls fed to him, and I just think he's going to tear up there. And Jared, I hope you're right that he's the scorer, because you picked him as the first goal scorer, but you only picked one goal to be scored in the match, and it's a 1-0, we win. So
I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping there's more. Believe me.
yeah, I'm hoping it's me 3-1 with Keko scoring the first goal, and I don't care who scores all the other ones. But if Dougie scores the first goal, I'd be happy to give you that point, because you'll get a point, because you picked Dougie. Luis, who did you pick again for the first goal score?
I pick Cuello.
Oh, you pick
Cuello.
Oh my God, we'd be so happy with that one too. So it doesn't matter. I don't care who gets the point, but I have a feeling we're gonna do a good job breaking down their back line. I think we're faster. I honestly think we're faster. When you saw Dougie break out against El Paso, when he broke free, he was like nobody could catch him. Seriously, and even Roro, I mean, Evan had to literally body tackle him, even though he wasn't really going to goal. Roro was just trying to get the ball. But at the end of the day, unless they do that to us, we've got their back line. We've totally got their back line. We can do this. We can do this. I wish I was talking to the players right now. It's like, guys, we got this. Just break them down. Just run in behind them.
It's like Dougie pulls up the short legs. That's like injecting the nitrous boost. Too fast, too short.
Jesus. Jared, have another ginger beer, man. You're on fire.
Well, I will be later.
I know we've got to get through this. I think we're coming up to the end of our live show, because we've broken down a little bit of the defenders. We've broken through the midfield and talked a little bit about that. We've talked about the strikers, but let me ask you guys, Carlos or Danny? We haven't seen much of Danny, and I'm going to put that.
No, we haven't. I would. See, that's the problem of having two great goalies. I mean, we obviously know Carlos, and we can get the job done. I mean, but there's a reason Danny was a Golden Glove in the league a while ago. But we don't know, because we haven't seen him at work. So I don't know. Maybe split half to half. With them this week.
I say if we're up 2-0 at halftime, I think we'll see Danny. I think we'll see Danny come on the second half.
Yeah.
If we've got a good cushion, I think we'll see Danny. I think we'll see Danny V in second half. I just get a feeling. I don't know. You reward the guy who's been doing well at training. You reward the guy who's been bringing us either goose eggs, and fabulous saves. You reward that guy. Get him in the net. So I don't know. I still think we start Carlos.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. We still start Carlos. I don't see them subbing, right? Because you might see that in a friendly, but unless Carlos gets injured, hopefully not. Hopefully it all goes good. Nothing like that, or a red card again. Hopefully not anything like that too. But I mean, I'm with you guys. It's a little bit challenging, right? Because like Jared was saying, right, Danny's got really good accolades, right, from his past, and you're like, it must be tough for him, right, considering that he's been pretty active over the last couple of years, and for him to be like, when am I going to get my opportunity? But I think that coach is going to actually play him in the Open Cup game, which, speaking of that, right, we got a rival April 7th on Thursday against Portland Timbers under 23s. So I think that's when he gets his opportunity, and he might be the Open Cup goalkeeper until maybe Carlos slips up a couple of games, or if he gets injured or red card or anything like that. So that's what I think, and we'll probably see him, and I'm assuming we would see him, right? Unless he gets injured, hopefully he doesn't. We would see him in the Open Cup.
Yeah.
You're spot on that one. I think you're correct on that one. I think we give Carlos a little breather, because that sometimes when the Open Cup rolls around, that's when you do give a couple guys a breather. And then if you need them, you bring them in. But I'll tell you what, those Portland under 23s, so the announcer, and if anybody listened to the match, the announcer said they had 1 week of training together. The under 23s did.
Wow.
1 week against Concord that has been playing for quite some time together as a squad. They're the amateur level, and they've been together for a while, and they couldn't, although Concord looked dangerous at times, the U23s for Portland were just like dynamite. They just came through and they knew exactly what they were doing, and they did what they came out to do. So I had that game on. I know you guys, so just to let everybody know, a lot of times, Luis and Jared and I, we have a conversation always in the background about things that are going on. So we were all keeping an eye on this match. Unfortunately, I was watching more of this match, and the other guys were watching the Tulsa San Diego match, and I totally spaced out about Tulsa San Diego and didn't even realize that Tulsa had beat San Diego until today. But that's okay. But watching the Portland match, I think they're going to give us a hard time. The T2, whatever, they've been sometimes a thorn in our side. Like Tacoma, for a while we could always beat them, and then all of a sudden we couldn't. So I have a funny feeling this game is gonna matter. We're gonna see some of our starters playing against this squad in the Open Cup.
I still say it's a continuation of when we last played Timbers 2.
Oh, you think we're spanking them? Okay. All right.
Yeah. If we don't win against the Timbers under 23 at home, it's gonna be pretty bad. I think it's gonna be a kind of embarrassing, in my opinion, just because they're under 23. Like, we got players that are much more experienced than they are, and it's not even T2, right? If it was T2, fine. I think that's a whole nother level. But these guys are, and like you said, Sharon, right? Like, they just started training, right? So by the time we play against them, they would have not even had a month training. So you can't lose against a team like that, right? And we need to take this Open Cup serious, right? And be able to, if we lose, let it be against an MLS squad, and ideally at their home venue, not at our home venue. But that we shouldn't be struggling in this round.
Well, technically, we've got some under 23s on our team as well, if you want to be technical about it. I don't see it as embarrassing. I mean, now us losing the Kitsap Pumas a few years ago, that was embarrassing.
I mean, I still can't believe that one too. I'm like, how could they lose against them? So I mean, equally to with that. But I mean, just because, again, Sharon just said that they don't have that much time even together playing. So if you can't beat a team like that, I mean, I'm just like, yeah, you gotta, right? I mean, I don't know what league they play in or what, but
Luis, I'll put it this way: you won't have to worry about messing the bed. I mean, we're gonna handle these folks. We always do. So don't even trip.
I hope not. I really want to go to an Open Cup game at an MLS stadium because I've enjoyed going to LA, San Jose. So that's all I'm saying. I hope that please don't screw up.
Right. We do want to advance. We want to get out of, the rounds that we're in and the rounds that other USL teams are in. We really want to go deep. And when I listened to this broadcast, this was my first broadcast of watching an Open Cup match. Of course, it was the first round of the publicized Open Cups. They were saying, and we all know this, typically Open Cup stuff doesn't start until like May. And this is the earliest they've ever seen it because it's the very deep. There's so many teams that are in Open Cup, which is wonderful. It's nice. It's nice that it's back, but it also speaks volumes of U.S. soccer and how many more teams that there actually are playing soccer at a high level to get into the Open Cup. And that makes my heart happy because, it's like Well, it's going to make my head explode because that's more for us to start tracking and following, because we do try to see what's going on at the different league levels, whether it's the amateur level, or the USL or the MLS or even the national team. I mean, by golly. And sometimes we even start talking about, international squads. We can't stop talking about Cruz Azul. I mean, come on. But, it feels good to have this much soccer permeating our country and just bring such a good spirit.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm glad we have this time of the year back again. I mean, the past couple of years has definitely been a big question mark, but now we're back in full force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people were scared that because we hadn't had this cup, it was going to go away. So, and I was one of those. I was like, you never know. They might be like, well, let's just forget it. It's always MLS teams, but you want to have that, right? You want to have those like crazy stories where you see a team go far, where you see a Rochester Rhinos win it in the 90s, right? So, I mean, come on, I want to have that, right? In Cincinnati, when they made the run, when they were in the USL, right? They got to semifinals. Like, I want to see that because you never know, right? I mean, it's crazy to think, but I mean, Sac Republic could make it to like semifinals. It's not anything that would be out there, right? You have a good team, and usually the MLS teams, they don't really take it too seriously until like semifinals, typically, and even sometimes until the final is when they really take it more on the serious side. So, and also remember, right, the winner of this cup gets a berth to the CONCACAF Champions League, which we haven't seen a USL squad there, but how crazy would it be to see a USL squad take the Open Cup and make it to that like tournament? Like,
it would be so good.
That would speak a lot about the growth of the league too. So I don't know. I think it could happen. I mean, there's a lot of experienced players that jump from different leagues, and we've seen it in the past with us, right? And how we've given game to other teams. So, I mean, it could happen. One could hope, right? One could dream. So
one could hope. All right, so we've talked about the different positions on the field. We've talked about some of our favorites. We've talked about some of the possibilities. We went through all the different levels. Talked about our rival Tulsa and how we think they're shit. So that's good. Sorry.
Beep. Oh, it's hard. I can't really.
Yeah, you can't beat me. We've talked some hypotheticals. We're kind of future tripping. We've got a game on April, 2nd, before we get to the Open Cup match on the 7th.
Yeah, Monterey.
So we've got to start thinking our heads, let's get to Sunday's match. Let's celebrate Jared and his birthday, and let's do whatever we can cupcake wise and, tailgate wise, and get everybody into the stadium and just have a wonderful game and experience and do all that. And then let's think about Monterey, because we've got the next thing coming. And, so tomorrow, Jared, you've got a free day. What does your tomorrow look like again?
I want to see about getting this beard trimmed. I mean, so I can at least look presentable, because I know Sunday after the match, after the after party, there's the St. Baldrick's event that I'm going to get my head shaved, which there's still time to, if anyone does want to donate money, I mean, even a small amount is fine. I'm going to post the link inside the Facebook group, and then also on Twitter as well. So if anyone wants to help a good cause, to help fight childhood cancer, I mean, this is a great way of doing it. You don't even have to shave your head. You could just, donate money, and you're good on that. I'll be the one that'll be shaving my head. So
awesome. Okay, yeah. And where is this St. Baldrick's event? Where are you going?
This is going to be at Sac Beer Yards. It's actually not that far from Stockton Boulevard, not too terribly far from the 29th Street Light Rail Station.
I know exactly where it is. I've been there a couple times, so it's a nice place. What time are you going to be there?
It's the head shaving event is due to start at 6. There are other events that are going on before that, so if you're looking for something to do after the match, I mean, there's some events happening around there as well. But the part that I'm going to take part in usually starts at 6. Probably should be about half hour to an hour or so, but I believe they've got the place till 8. So we'll just go from there. And if I have any more details, I'll be sure to post it.
Excellent, Jared. Excellent. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Tina left a comment here. Rafi just had a great game. Need to keep Monterey in our sights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and also keep a close tab on Monterey this weekend. I believe it's going to be tomorrow. They play against Oakland. Oakland's home opener.
Ooh.
And from what I hear, they have like a sold out. That's the last thing I heard. Is that so? It's going to be a packed stadium. So, should be a good game tomorrow. I'm glad our game's not till Sunday, so we can catch that game tomorrow.
Blues
Absolutely.
Clues.
Oh yeah, I hope they fixed it. Right? I mean, we'll see what they did this season.
Yeah.
I hope they learned from.
But either way, Officer Rafi's going to be making his rounds tomorrow. I mean, he already won the save of the week for this past week, so he's going to be riding high on the horse, making it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I hope Rafi makes choices look questionable. I hope he does really well for Monterey to make the choices that our club made by not keeping him as a backup keeper. I hope he just does what he needs to do. I love Danny and I love Carlos. I love that. And I just want Rafi to succeed. We all want that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully.
You're ahead of me again.
Oh, he moved too. That one too.
Sorry.
Well, for everyone going to the game on Sunday, if you see Jared, make sure to wish him a happy birthday. Because his birthday is literally on Sunday. We're not just going to celebrate it on Sunday because it's game day. So
it is the 27th. So
and we hope that the team gives you a win. I know that would probably be your best present. Give him a couple of goals, or at least just give him a goal, please. Right?
Even one will do, as long as we make sure that Tulsa doesn't get any.
Yeah. So that's all we're really asking y'all. So hopefully that's the case, and also. We have more podcast stickers. I just got another one that just came through, so I got a lot. So if y'all want any,
I've got some of the original stickers as well, so I'll be sure to pass those out. But they have the newer ones.
Yeah, you'll have the newer ones too on Sunday. So you're gonna have a stack as well. So for anyone in your area, anyone in Arizona, or in your other travels, he'll have them for anyone going to any away games that he goes to. Have a good stack
there's actually going to be some folks from Sacramento that are going to be making their way to Phoenix to see the Suns and Kings over at Footprint Center. So I'm going to be sure I'm going to have enough to hand out to them, because I know I owe a couple of them from the last time. So I want to make sure that I get all them taken care of. I mean, even if they may not be too big of a Republic FC fan, I still want to make sure that we represent Sacramento and the Central Valley, by giving them stickers as well. So that's definitely going to be happening.
Awesome. Hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And we're gonna have a lot of stickers this season. So we're gonna be present in a lot of places around the country. One last thing before we end tonight's show. Again, just as I reminded y'all earlier at the beginning, if you want to win this State of the Republic scarf signed by most of the team, all you got to do is just retweet this tweet on our Twitter page at State Republic 12, and also make sure that you're following us. And then you have until April 1st, or April Fool's, 7 p.m. Pacific. But again, it's not an April Fool's joke. And we will be announcing the winner at our next Town Hall Live next Friday, which will be at 7 as well. So go check that out. We've had a couple more retweets since we've done this live show. We're at 9 retweets, 9 likes. So
nice.
let's keep it going too. And considering we literally just posted just right before we got started with this show. So we're doing pretty good on that. So thank you for participating, everyone, and we can't wait to figure out who wins that. Again, it has most of the team's signatures on it. I think we might be missing like maybe 2 or 3 players that weren't at the Meet the Team event, but we try to get everyone. You also got Todd Donovan's signature there too, so pretty cool that we were able to get his as well.
We'll see what we can do about catching the other ones maybe this weekend. Jose, I love it. Thank you, Jose.
Hola, Forza.
Yeah, Forza.
All right,
guys.
Well, it's been great, y'all. We're really excited for Sunday because, again, we're going to have a match. We're going to have after match. We're going to go to McCooney's. We're still trying to figure out which one we're going to go to.
I'm down. I'm good with downtown, to be honest.
Yeah. I think downtown is a good idea. You'll be closer to your destination at Sackyard. So that's all good. And I think we just have to hustle or bustle, Luis. We've got to do our post-match stuff and then get out of the stadium because Jared's got a thing at 6:30, whatever it was that you said.
Yeah, 6. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably be reserving a table. I'm actually coordinating some things too, and so hopefully when we go right in, we got a table already. We don't have to wait. I don't know at that time how many people will be there, but yeah, we'll make sure our best. And if anyone wants to join us and just sit next to us or something, or just be there, then that's where we're gonna be at too. Probably taking some pictures there so y'all can see where we're at.
Awesome. I think that's excellent.
We got Mr. Flores saying, Amigo Luis, me gusta la gorra de tu colaboradora. He's saying he likes the hat of my collaborators. Yeah. Well, we all tenemos todos la misma gorra, Mr. Flores, so we all have the same hat. Which is these are the podcast hats. And if anyone does like these, I only did like a small order, but I mean I can always do more. They were relatively inexpensive, so just let me know. Tina said things
Yeah, me gusta cubrir algo para cubrir mi cabeza.
Yeah, muy bonitas gorras, yeah. Salieron muy bien y muy baratas también. And Tina saying, thanks guys, always fun. Thank you, Tina. We appreciate you tuning in as always. And of course, to everyone else, we appreciate your time and joining our live show here and commenting and all that. Again, I'll see you guys on Sunday. And that's about it for us too. So have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you on Sunday.
See you Sunday.
All right. Let's go.
End broadcast.